Hello guys, I'm going to take a 10-minute video to show you guys about commissions. So I'm under the assumption that you guys already created an opportunity and that now we're going to talk about how to get paid with that opportunity. So right now I'm inside one of the opportunities under one of my listing opportunities right here, and it's a test one, as you can see the name. But one of the things that I need to make sure you guys understand is that your opportunities has to be filled in to the best of the ability. So one of the first things that you need to do is make sure that the opportunity name is the property address. So a lot of you guys are, you know, not putting that in there, and you're naming the person, and that's why you're having a lot of issues. And the market center is not going to do this stuff for you. So you need to make sure that you're doing your job and doing the opportunity to the best of your ability, because this is your business. So the property address is the name of the opportunity, whatever that is. All right. So make sure the property address is the name of the opportunity. And if you want to put this portion at the end, you can. It's not necessary. We know it's a listing based on the opportunity phase that it's in. But if you want to leave that on there, go ahead. That's optional. But the property address is a must, and there's nothing you can do about that. We will not process your files as a market center if you are not following the rules that we have in place. There are certain things that we need. There are certain reasons why we need that. If we get audited, we need to look up an opportunity to see the documents for that file. We need to be able to find it as quickly as possible. And the property address is the easiest way to find the opportunity. So make sure that's filled in. So the property address is a must. You have to put that as the opportunity name. Your MCAs will stop processing your files if you are not putting the property address to the opportunity name, because that's the way they find the opportunities in order to make sure that you double check your paperwork, they approve your paperwork, and then create a DA and pay you out. So make sure that is what you have on there. I don't care about custom tags. Nobody does except you. So these custom tags are for the opportunity only, not the contact, only the opportunity. So make sure that if you are using these, that's only for you. We don't need them. The owner is always the rainmaker. And then here will be anybody else that will be in your team if you have a team. And for that to happen, the team thing will be filled in right here, which you can see that it's not, okay? So whatever team you're on, this team will be the owner, and then the owner is always the rainmaker, and then the contact here, who is the person, right? Who's the who's the seller? Who's the co-seller? Opportunity phase, under contract, close. So in this case, because we're going to cut commissions, we're going to say that it's closed now. So the stage is closed. Time frame, we don't care about. Estimated closing date, we don't care about. We do need a contract date, so make sure the contract date is filled in, and the estimated close date. So we're saying the 26th. We really don't care about that, and the commission rate, don't worry about that either. So there we go. Click save. So all that stuff is filled in. The next thing you need to do is you gotta make sure this property box is filled in. Click the pencil and fill in the address of the property. It does, because we need the property address here so that the system knows which property this is linking to. Now, normally what we would ask you to do is to use the KWLS to go in here. But I know that sometimes you guys are behind on your files, and if you're behind and it's been closed for a couple of days, the KWLS might not find it. So the simplest way to do it is to just go in here and do it. Go in here, put the property address, fill it in, and it populates that. The next thing that you gotta make sure is your documents tab. Your documents tab has to be completely uploaded, and make sure that for a listing, you have your listing, your under contract, and your closed documents. And they should have a green approved right next to each of these. The MCAs will go in here, and if you don't have all your docs approved, they will not process your file until they are approved by the compliance manager, whoever that is. Whether it's your managing broker or an outside compliance officer, or whoever it is, this has to be approved before you could proceed. All right, because you could go all the way across, and if you haven't gotten these approved, the MCAs will not cut you a check. So make sure your state mandated documents are uploaded. And I say state mandated because I know you're going to have a lot of paperwork, but the state only requires us to have certain things. In Illinois, these are the documents that a listing needs. So you're going to add the files either manually or through DocuSign or through .loop, whatever you're using, you will add them here. Under contract, same thing. These are the state-mandated documents in Illinois, and you're going to add them through DocuSign.loop or from your computer, but you're going to add them right here. And in your closed document, we need a commission statement and a closing settlement statement. And you're going to upload those here. And again, from DocuSign.loop or from your computer, but you're going to upload them here. The next thing you need, once you have your documents approved, is you need to create an offer. You need an offer in order for the commissions tab to unlock. If you don't have an offer, this will not unlock. So create an offer. It's very simple. It takes less than a minute. You click new offer. Don't worry about the name. Create an offer. This, click parties. Just keep going. You need a buyer's name. You should have that because you have a closing settlement statement and or you have a contract, and the contract has the buyer's name on it. Mr. Smith. Don't worry about anything else. Any agents or the co-op broker needs to go in here. And then you, obviously, there's a listing, so it automatically populates. And then terms. The terms, all I need is the actual price the house sold for. So if this house sold for $305, that's all I need to know. This is what the commission is going to be based on. All right. So if you're going to do concessions, so let's say you gave $5,000 in closing costs, and you're doing a net, that means that your net is actually $300 and not $305. Right. So make sure you understand that net versus gross. How are you getting paid? Right. So right now we're going to say $305. And then down here, we say seller costs, residential service contract, or settlement costs. In Illinois, for the most part, we do settlement costs. There's really no residential service contracts that we do. For the most part, to stay compliant with RESPA, we just do closing costs, and normally that's like, let's say you do $5,000. Now notice that this and this is just for information purposes. This is not going to automatically subtract from here, so don't worry about that. We're going to say agent analysis. Don't worry about that. Click save. Your offer is done. So the offer is done here. You got 305 is the offer, and then we're going to say accept, and that is it. Your commissions tab is now open. Click on commissions. So here's where you're going to do your math, okay? So the offer is for 305. What's your commission? Your commission is whatever you said it was going to be. So if the commission is 3.5%, or let's say for easy numbers, your commission is 3%. Now this is the part where you need to remember. Are you getting paid on the net, or are you getting paid on the gross? So if the sales price was 305, but you gave $5,000 in concessions, and you're getting paid on the net, then your commission is going to be based on $300,000 and not 305. I always do gross. The commission rate doesn't change much by doing gross or net. So gross, let's say 3% on there. So 305. So if I do 305,000 at 3% is 9150. Now I always charge a transaction fee, so that I always do a minus 350 on the other side. If you do that, then you have to add that. So 3% on 305 is 9150 plus 350 is a total of 9500. So that would be my total commission, 9500. Oh, not 95,000, 9500. So here's my commission, right? Now this field and this field have to match, or at least the breakdown of the agents has to match. So this is the thing. So we're going to do one phase first, and then I'll go back and do the next phase. And then you could pause and rewind the video to help you depending on which one you're doing. So let's say this is just you, nobody else. Then this should match this. So unit is 1. So these two units, this should match. Units. And then the total commission should be 9,500. Easy peasy, right? System calculates it. Done. That's all you have to worry about. There's nothing else to do. Submit it to your MCA. When you hit submit, it's going to ask you if you want to donate the money to KW Cares and blah, blah, blah. You will do that there. The question then comes up, what happens if you have multiple agents in a deal? So the first one I'm going to show you is when you have multiple agents in the same market center. That means that agent works in the same office you work at. And in that case, I'm going to say I'm going to work with another person, right? So Now I'm gonna add another agent, but I can't right now because my total commission is dispersed. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, since there's two agents, this agent only gets half of a unit, right? Makes sense, right? Now it's gonna tell me that these don't match because it should be a total of one. That's okay, we're gonna fix that. The next thing I need to do is, okay, what is the percentage split for this agent? Let's say that it's an equal percentage, which means that this agent will get 4750. And it's going to do its math, and now it's going to tell me that the commissions and the units don't match. So now I'm going to do the next one. Now at the bottom right here, if you guys can see this, it says add an agent. So I'm going to add an agent, and I'm going to select one. So again, this agent has to be in your market center. So, and I have to learn how to spell people's names, right? That will help. So here it is. So I'm going to say Joanna. And she's going to get equal of the money, so then she's going to get half of a unit as well. So I'm going to say half a unit. There she is, half a unit. That's going to clear up one of my errors. You'll see that go away. There it goes. And then my next error is the total commission, which I'm going to say 4750 because it's an equal commission. And then everything else goes away, right? There you go. Easy peasy. Done. Then people say like, okay, well, what if, that's cool. I split the money between the agents, but what if I have a referral fee to, let's say, ABC Realty? Well, then you need a W-9 for that ABC Realty, and then you're going to go here to where it says co-op broker, and then we're going to add that co-op broker here. Now, the first thing is, what is the percentage you're going to pay this co-op? And let's say that you have a 20% referral to ABC Realty. 20%. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do so. It's 20% of the 9750 of the $9,500. I'm sorry. So 20%. So times 20% is $1,900. So they're going to get 0.62% of my money, right? So that's fine. Again, 1,900. Tax ID, make sure that you have their tax ID. It's going to be an EIN number. And the company is going to be ABC Realty. And then it's going to be paid out to ABC Realty because, we pay out to the brokerage. And the agent's name will be Agent X. All right, Agent X. And then their address, I'm going to say 123. Here it says since the revenue, we're just going to do that one. We're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's their phone number. I'm going to say add. The thing is now that my check is for 9,500 and I'm giving them 1,900. So I have to actually subtract 1,900 from that. So if I do 9,500 minus 1,900, that leaves me with 7,600. This is the money that KW gets after paying the referral fee of 20% to ABC Realty. Everybody follow? You got to take your total check you got at the closing, subtract the 20% for ABC Realty, which is 1,900, and then the remainder goes here. So if you add these two together, so if you add the 1,900 and 1,700, it should equal to your total check that you got at closing. So that should equal to 9,500. But now I have to fix this here. So now I'm only going to get half of the 7,600, which is 3,800. And it's going to calculate, let it do its thing. Don't rush it. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say 3,800. And then easy peasy, done. Right? So remember, this and this need to equal to your check that you got at closing. This amount will be what KW keeps and dispersed between the agents at KW. So I would get that amount. Joanna gets that amount. The site here breaks it down. So 7,600 commission for us, 1,900 commission for the co-brokers, all the splits that go together, and then what the agents each get, and then what the office gets. So you hit submit again. KW cares, yes or no. And you're done. That is total for commissions. But remember the important things. You have to be in details. The opportunity name has to be the property address. You do have to have a listing address here. And the easiest way will be to do it in details. So under details, make sure that over here where it says property, you have the property address. And then the documents have to be all approved, because you could do all the steps. And if your documents are not approved, you will not get paid. All right. So make sure all your documents are approved. It will say approved right next to them, because the first thing the MCAs do is they go to your opportunity, make sure these are all green approved. Then they go to commissions and make sure that's done. And then they pull it into their system and they create a DA to make sure you get paid. If you have extra documents you want to keep, create a custom folder over here and then save them here. If not, we don't want them. This is all we need is the state mandated documents. So documents, opportunity address, listing property address. You need an offer, created and accepted before commissions opens, and then commissions has to equal to the total check you got, and then you put the stuff through, and then your market center gets everything done. Hit submit, and you're done. Simple as that. All right, guys, if you have questions on anything that you need regarding, commissions, contact your MCA, send us an email, and then we'll get to you if this video doesn't help. Again, as you're uploading, as you're creating commissions, make sure you are watching this video as you're doing it if it's your first time, and then pause it as you do each step so that you follow through. And if you follow the steps in this video, you should be able to create your commissions and be done with it. Thank you, guys. Take care.